So good morning, everybody. So I'll be talking about opportunities for innovations in IT-based services. Before I talk about the topic, right? There's a lot of misconceptions about services. What is really services, and what are the opportunities for innovation in services? Because I often hear people talking about, oh, all we are doing in the IT area in India is services. And we have very few products that have come out of India and so on. So there's not much innovation happening. And hopefully through this presentation, I'd like to show you a lot of innovation which is going on in just service delivery, a lot of opportunity, a lot of the action in terms of, as you look at the future of where the IT itself is going to be in the services area. And there's a real chance, a real opportunity for us to show both global leadership through our innovations as well as have significant impact on our society. Before I begin the talk, let me just talk a little bit about services. And I apologize, this is a kind of a US-centric chart, but this is all I could get to show the transformation that is happening in the economies of the world, how they're becoming more and more services driven. So what this chart shows is the percentage of the labor forces that are working in agriculture related areas, goods, which you can roughly equate as manufacturing, and SS services. And you can find that in India, you have, again, this is as of, I think, about 2006. This is data as of a few years ago. In India, you can see that roughly 60% of our population is involved in agriculture related, 17% in goods, and about 23% in manufacturing. And if you look at a lot of the developed economies of the world, look at the US, only about 1% working in agriculture, 23% in manufacturing, roughly 76% in services. So over the years, so this is just showing the data for the US, the shift of the labor from what used to be, if you go back, let's say to 1800, big part used to be working on agriculture, and then there was all this movement towards manufacturing, to more and more, over 70% of the population working in services. It's not coming?
Caller mic. Or you can move it a little bit upwards.
So, and if you look at the percentage of contributions to GDP, that is actually agriculture contributes to a relatively now smaller fraction of the GDP. Services already within India, these 23% of the people who are involved in services are already contributing to over 50% of the GDP. So as again the economies, right, move towards development, it is pretty much inevitable that more and more we start to do various kinds of services related jobs. In this talk today, I'll first talk about. Sorry? Building a smarter planet. While it's I mean, there's a lot of marketing hype behind it. Some of you may have seen some of these IBM advertisements on TV about building a smarter planet. There's a lot of real opportunity. I mean, behind all of this marketing hype, there's a lot of real opportunity for us to now start to apply IT towards some of the societal problems. So I'll talk about some of those opportunities, and I'll talk about some of the unique challenges that arise in the context of India, where you cannot just take some solution that's been developed in the West and apply it blindly in India. You have to innovate here and come up with new solutions that meet our needs here. So I'll talk about some of those, and some of these examples would be where you have done some customization of the solution and so on. Then I'll give an example of a solution where we are developing certain solutions primarily with India as the starting point, primarily motivated by the needs and the environment in India, and then looking at taking some of these services beyond India. And finally, I'll talk about the services which are increasingly getting delivered by various IT companies, be it IBM, TCS, Infosys, Wipro, and so on, for global clients all over the world. But the delivery is happening out of India. So the client could be in the US or Europe, and the data center could be somewhere, let's say in New York, and there are people sitting in Bangalore who are monitoring the kind of state of those servers, storage systems, and so on, and dealing with any problems that are arising, let's say, in that data center. So what I'll talk about is what are some of the opportunities that arise in the context of those kinds of services? How can you deliver higher levels of productivity through maybe higher automation, higher levels of quality, and higher levels of service? How do you deliver higher value through your service by applying innovations? So let's start with talking about the smarter planet. So what we view our planet today, the way the world operates, you can start to view it as kind of an interconnected system of systems. There are things like the infrastructure, which includes all of these roads, power supply, water, and so on. There is transportation. There are things like finance, food, healthcare, and so on. And each of these areas, each of these verticals themselves is a very, very complex system. And these themselves interact a lot with each other to constitute what we call this global system of systems, where the overall world economy is of the order of 54 trillion US dollars. And now, if you look at how the world operates today, there are a lot of inefficiencies in how the world operates today. In fact, what's the level of those inefficiencies? There's a study that we did. IBM Institute of Business Value did a study together with some of the leading economists, and we estimated that in this $54 trillion world economy, roughly $15 trillion are wasted every year. 15 trillions are wasted every year. And this waste takes the form of, take any industry, look at transportation. There are billions of liters of fuel which is wasted because of, let's say, cars, various vehicles that are stuck in traffic congestion. They're still burning petrol. Look at food. A significant percentage of the food that we produce right here in India is destroyed due to various reasons, due to, let's say, pests or other forms of perishing of the food and so on, by the time it reaches the actual consumer. Look at water. Take any major city, take Delhi, where somewhere between 25 to, I think about 40% of the clean water is estimated to be lost due to various forms of leakages or other forms of wastage, contributing to, again, significantly worsening the shortage that you see of clean water in major cities. Oh, okay, sorry. And kind of the list goes on and on. You take any system, you take medical, healthcare system, especially in developed countries like the US, it is estimated that, I mean, several hundreds of $billions are wasted every year